education, communication, and outreach stakeholders. Please stay, share your initiatives.
Excellent, perfect. Now is the climate action. At the same time, 10 o'clock is not an optimal time.
No, not really. Not
so
really.
much stopping.
It's kicking off,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So is this the ECOS?
ECOS,
Yes.
yeah.
ECOS.
Education, communication, and outreach.
Exactly.
Okay.
Please stay and join us.
Lindsay. I left my charger in here.
One day, okay.
I slipped up to the dais in the middle of this event and took it away.
Thank you.
Hey, I do apologize. You just tried to do her.
Yeah, sure. It's fine. You're welcome.
I just should have done off the dais.
No, everything is fine. We are friends.
Very mellow. We have such a full agenda that I'm not as mellow. Take care.
Take care. So will you connect your computer?
Yeah.
I will do the web broadcasting, but only if Mark would want to say something, then we connect mine. Otherwise, not. Will you present today? Will you present today your initiative? Good, then join us here.
Come up.
Hallo, hallo. Sehr schön. Nehmen Sie Platz zu meiner Linken oder zu meiner Rechten. Wie Sie wissen. Yeah, today is your event.
Yeah. I think I put some normal things on my hat because otherwise it looks stupid without hat. Yeah?
Without head, you can't do it. Yeah.
No, I would look stupid. I would feel like weird.
You always need something on your head so that you're visible.
Right, but exactly. I mean, you have to.
This guy?
It's from Uzbekistan, down to Tajikistan. And if you don't have it, you know this one? So
Is
it's
it from the EU or what?
you need to deliver on the Paris Agreement 70 years of universal human rights declaration.
Very good. Is
So
this...
please check this and
Okay,
put it
super.
here. Now you
yeah.
have 4 of them, but you can take out the other one
Okay.
because you don't need that one,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, interesting. Okay. Hello. We are here for human rights
Yes.
and rights of future generations, intergenerational equity. We need to deliver.
If this one
Okay.
All right, I think we should kickstart this.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. We have a few people in the room. I'm not sure if it's Ringo's connecting or if it's Ringo staying.
Yes. Please join in for the ECOS meeting. Working, it's amazing. We're talking about education, communication, outreach.
Join the winning
This
team.
is the place to be.
Yeah.
Don't lose us, don't lose us. No, 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 no. You will lose us. It's your opportunity. Mister. Dear sir and madam, don't lose us because you will miss us. So, yeah.
So, everyone, and today's session we have invited on the mailing list, as you might see, people to share their initiatives in the respective area, and we have today Abhishek here with us. Abhishek, a few of you met him, I believe, at the last meeting, but we would appreciate if you could dive us into
Hello all. First of all, let us give us a waking call. We are the champions. We are in the room.
Yes.
Okay. So I am Abhishek. I am pursuing my German Chancellor's Fellowship, and I always in my life I realized that there is always a lack of information for youth or for young people. Like I used to always search that, hey, where do I get the information about a scholarship where a young people or whosoever is coming from the grounds, how is that the information is available but it's not accessible to people. So my basic area of work is energy. I'm an energy specialist, but I also started a network for especially people who are deprived of information. There is a Facebook page where currently we have 200 members. It's Youth Scholarship Hub. In this Facebook page, we have it's a group. Sorry, in this Facebook group, we have there are active people who publish opportunities not only for youth, but it's like for scholarships, opportunities for paid opportunities for conferences, and any activities like a very nice PhD position, a master's position. All kinds of scholarships are available here. So I try to create this space for youth and emerging leaders in the world, those who are able to get this youth opportunity hub. Yeah. So we have all kinds of sections. We not only limit to the scholarships, but we also publish all kinds of activities, like giving a brief out of an organization, say, for example, Yango. So those who don't know, because I always felt in my life is that there is lack of information from that is not forwarded from one person to the other person. Many people are not able to come to COP or not even to any high-level conferences. So this platform is really very important, and yeah, I'm also working on creating a network of networks which will be a single window entry for connecting you to any field that you want. So I am still, it's in a brainchild mode, and I have worked 50% part of it, but since it will be covering all spectrum, all the SDGs, so I'm yet to consolidate the entire team and execute it properly, but I'm working on it. So two things I wanted to share. One is Youth Scholarship Hub, Youth Opportunity Hub, and Network of Networks. Thank you.
Thank you, Avi. So if I understand right, this is for resource mobilization, getting not necessarily access, but information about such scholarships.
Not only scholarship, but also important conferences or some delegation tours that is available via government that people, they are not aware. And some people, when they have access, they use this opportunity every year by year, and they are not. It's not passed on to the next generation. Life is all about like a relay run. you run your first round, and then it's a time to give the baton to somebody else. So I'm trying to do that. Means I'm walking the talk, and let's see how it is able to help the people. And not only me, there are other active members also in this. So I would like you all to join, and whatsoever information you have regarding anything, please publish on this so that it is openly accessible for all. In future, I plan by start of next year to have a proper website on this, where these informations are easily accessible for everybody apart from the Facebook page. Thank you.
And before you dove into this and came up with the idea, I'm sure you have heard of the Youngo initiatives on such scholarships, on the Global South scholarships. What's your comment on those that you'd like to offer here with your initiative? What have you learned from these past opportunities that were presented to you on a CCC Youth?
Well, personally, to me, I'm not a big fan of Youngo, because it really, UNFCCC really provides a very open space for youth advocacy, and where you can come, and it's really a flat structure. But that's theoretical, and I feel that if you see the picture of Youngo and the activism or the group pictures, you will see 70% of the people in the pictures are same in every year from last 5 years. I am 29 years of age, and last year I volunteered for COP, and then I came to COP. I worked in grounds, but there are many people who are deprived coming to these. COP is not a destination, but yeah, you meet like-minded people, you meet your resources, you are able to mobilize your concept, you are able to mobilize finances. So Youngo is really a very good platform, but it needs to be structured in a proper way. Coming to the fellowship, yeah, Youngo did a very good job. I am associated with Youngo from last 10 months, but they really came up with good scholarships, and this is the actual way where you bring in, where you pull in think tanks who are emerging and young leaders from these countries. And not only they should come up with only one scholarship like Global South. COP happens once in a year, but you have to keep them mobilized throughout the year. So there has to be activities. They have to bang into internships in UNFCCC. There has to be not only UNFCCC, but all SDG. There has to be, like in WHO, there has to be in UNHRC. Everywhere has to be the doors has to be open for the youth, where they learn and not only be part of the system, but also learn and go back to their countries and serve their countries. That is the main motto. It's not that just they come, they be a part of system and they improve their life, but it's also go back to the countries and serve what is required in the countries that they belong to.
You touched upon think tanks and the role of think tanks in furthering this information, or perhaps even collaborating on creating opportunities like this. But my experience with think tanks, research think tanks, is that they have a limited and a more focused outreach to let's say, institutions, perhaps even policy experts, policy makers. But when it comes to wider outreach of think tanks, I have the experience it's very limited. How do you see, or perhaps from the audience, how do you see that as researchers coming from research organizations or working with research organizations of the outreach and the actual potential that research institutions and think tanks could have?
Yes.
My name is Henry O'Neill. I'm from the Manchester Museum, University of Manchester. So I put a resolution to the top of dialogue. So I think what we need to do is look for what are the opportunities in society where people are not necessarily consumers, but where are the situations such as museums or cultural events where people are citizens first. And how can we use, because museums. Like we reach lots of people. We can do very pleasant, but also really rather slightly irrelevant things. Or we can work more closely with organisations such as UNFCCC or with local and regional partners, just to that's to me is what power of the business. Like, how do we find the opportunity, the sort of connectors that can enable people to participate? That makes sense.
I will also take on that.
You want to?
So do you mean outreach within academic communities, or do you mean outreach beyond that? When you talk about outreach?
I think beyond talking about civil society outreach and outreach to the wider public.
Okay, so I teach other classes, but I also teach a lot of freshmen, and I feel that they come into college, well, first off, not really having any sense of climate in the situation that we're in right now. And they get, and I also detect that they get kind of irritated with some of university efforts to do things like recycle and whatever. So I think we're, you know, at the university you are asking them to do things that they haven't really done before or even heard about before, or that they even kind of disparage, if you will. But I think they are an important group, not just for the university in terms of continuity on campus. And obviously it's great to get upperclassmen and grad students, who I think are most of the people here, some kinds of students here, but how do you reach the freshmen and really bring them along? And also too, I think there's a lot of opportunities to use them as a way to reach beyond campus. And to really try to get them fired up. So, you know, I do things like, you know, have them work on social media, have them do podcasts, go out and interview other professors and academics, which is a new experience for them and kind of intimidating, but also pretty cool because it's a different sort of relationship than, say, a student to a faculty member, you know, where you've done research on severe weather, so you go in and talk to an environmental scientist who knows about that, and then you write about that, or do short videos, things like that. Basically trying to get them engaged in the topic, and then also to think beyond, okay, how can I reach out, how can I energize students on campus, and then how can we together move beyond this. So I think a lot of times campuses ignore the first years, but I think the first years are a real, very important constituency for the kind of things that you want to do, and then you, of course, have it for 4 years and really develop them over time, and get them involved in community partnerships and, you know, moving beyond. So just those are kind of random thoughts, but things that I would say.
Yeah.
So I would different thing. For instance, have on campus some sort of NGOs. I mean, the youth groups that they usually have these small student associations that they will take care of in a more comprehensive manner. Is that kind of a solution to engage them more? Because see, first normally there's a lot of these association fairs, and every association wants to get members, and then they can basically take this sort of outreach role. That be like an option?
Yeah, well, I think that's, I think that would be a smart move, you know, to say to organizations, you know, this is the way you can recruit new members to get more people engaged. I think also doing things in residence halls. So, for example, on some college campuses, I want to say it's UCLA or USC, they did things like trying to raise awareness, for example, in residence halls. So they put they metered electrical use in the residence halls. And actually I know about this because there was this video online about it. I think it's USC that did it. So I think if you can, give them a direct experience, direct evidence, direct contact with people who are activists, faculty members who are involved in research. I think this does have an impact, and I know faculty members feel differently about, well, for example, when I want a freshman coming to interview me about something. But actually, it does have quite an impact. And since subsequently they will go back to the faculty member, because they've had this conversation with them about something that's real and matters. And so I think also too, faculty need to think about how to interact maybe in new ways with the constituents too. But it just seems to me that the first years of freshmen are really there's great potential there. And if, for example, at Emory now, we're trying to get climate change as part of orientation on campus and doing activities and talking to the students about orientation. So it's obviously there's a lot of competition to get a slot in the orientation time with students, but sustainability is big on our campus, and the president of the university is not very much engaged in climate. So I'll turn it over to somebody else. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential.
So thank you. See you under
So, my name is Sarah May. I'm from Scripps Institution of Oceanography, University of California, San Diego. And this is probably a much larger offline discussion, but very briefly in response to a variety of things. I just finished writing a new climate change studies center for UC San Diego, and I did women's science research across the United States and internationally about undergraduate students and how they are motivated or not to participate in various things. We did a survey at UC San Diego, and the very enlightening thing that we found is that of the 795 validated points for our survey, most students were for policy but had no idea how they personally connected to climate change. And also we see that there's a huge problem with the scale of the problem. The survey doesn't fix climate change, and so it is a non-starter for most undergraduate students. And it's increasingly becoming the case for the average citizen as well. So I'd love to have a wider discussion. If there anybody who is curious, and your points about getting climate change implementation, there was recently a paper about which students over the course of 4 years are learning the most climate change information, and the answer is those who are required to take it so far, with Columbia University being number 100% of students carry it because it is now a required course as part of general education for all undergraduate students at Columbia. And I have all of those papers and things if anyone's interested in the science and how of it. But it's really fascinating, and the truth of the matter for undergraduates is interdisciplinarity is a big issue. The more types of courses that you can get into, the more information you're getting. So I have lots of products and information. I'm working on a publication eventually, hopefully, about my work and what we do. But I am really excited to be involved in ECOS. I'm sorry there's not more people here. Are we having meetings next week? If so,
Yes.
because I recruit up the wazoo for people. And my main point of being here at COP is to get involved with education, communication, interpretation, and climate change. Because that's what I've been doing for the last 11 years, primarily with the non-related women and other losing friends in the United States, particularly the National Network for Ocean Climate Change Interpretation, which I would love to talk to anyone and everyone about. And that's where all my awesome buttons are from. So if you see my buttons, that's all about that. So I'm going to stop talking now, but I'd love to have ongoing conversations if anyone is interested.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Good morning. I'm Karen Campbell, and I am the first ever observer delegate from Rotary International.
Oh,
I need a survey. Who's heard of Rotary International? Rotary. Wow, I should take a picture of all the races. So we are not an education group. We are not a communication group. We do outreach. Rotary is 1.2 million members in 35,000 clubs. Our main goal is to eradicate polio, but it's been a message slow to register that if you have extreme weather events, totally exterminating a fecal-borne virus is going to be difficult. I'm the co-founder of the Environmental Sustainability Rotarian Action Group, which is a side group within Rotary, whose purpose is to help Rotarians understand the urgency of climate change to all of their humanitarian agenda and take measures to be more active. But Rotary prides itself on being apolitical, and COP might be the most political place I could have been sent. It was not easy to persuade them to send an observer. They have never done it before, even though they've played in many other UN forums, including helping to found the UN. As a first-timer and Rotary never coming before, I am an orphan without a constituency. And so I am constituency shopping. I have cards. I will be blogging daily. Well, not daily, because there's not enough time to sleep. I will 2 to 3 blogs every second or third day. And I'm interested in learning and seeing whether there is a fit between humanitarian service groups that meet for fellowship and service, Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions, and what you're working on. So far, I'm not sure.
And all of those organizations are critical for high school to college transitions.
And I should have said, Rotary has programs in the high school. Rotary Youth Exchange was one 51 years ago. Interact for high schoolers, Rotaract for college students and young people not great enough to join Rotary. And so we have a stake in youth and education and preserving it. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome back to the ECOS. And I've also heard there was myself an exchange on the Rotary, but I have many friends who are Rotary exchange. So it's a very known organization, and yeah, thank you. I think you're in the right position here.
Yeah. We've had joiners before who also were looking for a home under the UNFCCC, like for example faith-based organizations and faith-based groups who come to the COP and are looking for constituencies to gather with. And I think here, when it comes to our aim and focus of outreach, it can be a good place to further your efforts and connect with other stakeholders.
And if I may add, because I've been involved from the very beginning, together with Mark McCaffrey, who is virtually participating with us for Google Hangout. It's as you said, you will see whether your work fits into the work of ECOS. It's a matter of design, and we are still in the phase of designing ECOS' way of functioning. And from my logic, this is the instrument that we have here, ECOS, the morning meetings and the networking function here, to really build the knowledge base for climate action by everybody all around. And the bigger your networks are, the bigger your reach, the more important is that you find your place in ECOS, and that we design it in a way that the information and capacity building that you are doing in this field is somehow integrated and is creating synergies with activities of other networks. And there's no other global network in this area existing. 2 days ago in the meeting, I presented the CLEAN network from the US, which is wonderful, but we don't have any real multilingual platform for networking and exchange of resources and synergies. So we have to design it, and that's also the aim of these morning meetings. And perhaps we should also form some kind of strategy development team and terms of reference development team, because we didn't yet really put it on paper, but it's needed, and I'm happy that our community is growing. And please join us on Facebook and join us also by exchanging cards. And if you are ready to work in these strategy developments, you are most welcome. And my name is Miro Bolzer. So
and regarding on developing this eco strategy, for those of you who are planning to stay and going to be here at the COP in the coming days, our main information channel is the ECOS mailing list, and I'm always encouraging members and participants to share their ideas and their initiatives on this mailing list, because that's where some of the capacity of this group lies, and exchanging with other members. So please, if you find this relevant, join the mailing list that I put out on the screen, and share your initiatives, as well as share if you would like to present your initiatives in the upcoming days at these ECOS morning meetings.
Are there any other hands? Want to share anything?
If I may react previously, find it an interesting point. You said you're representing a museum, or is that one of the things among your activities?
So I work in a big museum, and I'm here on behalf of a kind of informal network of international museums and workers who are interested in just making our museums work a bit harder in support of climate change and environmental sustainability and the SDGs. And increasingly, our networks are, as I say, are international. It's a group of people who are all kind of slightly struggling to, as I think maybe others are, we're kind of struggling to create a new thing, which is the collaboration mechanism. It's the joining the local and global dimensions. And because there are, as I mentioned, I've been in submissions to Talanoa. So there are over 55,000 museums globally, and we have absolutely massive reach. So like my museum alone is 500,000 visitors a year. More people go to museums, they go to football matches, and people come to natural history. I'm very interested in natural history. People come to the museums not because they're interested in dead animals, they come because they're interested in animals and in nature. So they already have people are looking for just a way to enable them to participate more fully. and how we can use museums as institutions which are not just about preserving the past, but are about creating the future and working with partners is very powerful. And so there's a working group of the International Council of Museums, which is looking at how can we explore, well, how can we help mainstream the Paris Agreement and the SDGs into the international museum community. So that's a work in progress, but we're looking for partnership networks who are philanthropic. So just to conclude, because very often when people talk about climate change education or awareness, they talk about children. And learning is a lifelong process, and as well, if we can wait for the children to be in a decision-making positions, it's going to be too late. So that's my
Thank you. That sounds amazing. Actually, I was just recently in a museum with Tristan, and they have a part of the Garden Museum, so they made like a partnership happen. And I think we could really develop that and maybe make this part of like thinking that you have a museum working for something. Main Street climate change in museums, because that was what I would call practices of milk farming. And so then it was like exploring the difference in reality between those different countries. And I think that would be an idea to actually end up further.
It's not every day that we get to hear and meet representatives of museums or an alliance of museums at the COP. And now that I started to think about it, it's perhaps something interesting. The Fine Arts Museum in Brussels, which is my current base, is regularly hosting events and parties, music parties, which gathers a lot of young people who would necessarily visit the museum, but have the opportunity to see the exhibitions as well. And at these events, I always see that those people who come there to a party with this open, free mindset can take a lot more from visiting these exhibitions than if they would just come on an occasional basis. And I think this could be an area for museums to improve their outreach, that to be open and be creative about hosting bigger events and other events that could be an initiator or a spark for people to go there.
Yes. Yes, so I had a question for you, sir, regarding, I think it was last year I was in Britain was there a national science museum festival? Was that what transpires where museums all over the country were sort of coordinated in an effort?
National Science Museum. Yes, every year there's a National Science Engineering. That's one of the things with museums. It's like how can we raise awareness of international days, whether it's a science museum or whatever it is. Because the SDGs have a very low profile in the UK, and I'm not sure there is Australia. We need to have a full awareness of the SDG agenda. But these are the things like international days that connect museums have. But it's nothing for contemporary relevance, not seems to be.
So my experience was I was here lecturing, so I went to the museum there, and it was during this, maybe it was missionary, but they were part of like a national, a national group of museums that were somehow connected on a theme. There were so many people there at the museum. And I just thought, wow, this is what we need in the United States, to get groups of museums together to be part of this. Their education, entire families. We have our, okay, yeah. But I think that's a great opportunity.
So in certain states there are actually people in museums who are super interested in climate change, and the museums who are effective with regards to climate change awareness and action. So there was a climate museum in New York, and there was a conference at the Carnegie Museum in yeah, this kind of thing. There's museums in the Anthropocene, and there's a cultural sector of the civilian movements, and so there are lots of people who are interested in network. It's moving fast, actually.
Thank you. I think that's really great attention. We could actually look how climate change can be more fully integrated in the future, how collaborations could develop. And I think and Patrick Fujara and anybody who's into museums, working in museums, and bring them here, and then you can build a network. That'd be amazing.
What is the next set of thoughts? Is it would be so everyone's interested in that? Will we get together again for this, or swap cards, or are we just sort of being
the focal point?
Yeah, one way to do it is do it right on site. But I'd like to bring in again the mailing list. Please feel encouraged to continue these conversations on the mailing list, as it has a lot more capacity with the diverse network of ECOS that we already have, with all kinds of stakeholders, not just researchers, not just NGOs and youth, but policymakers, focal points for education from ministries of education working on climate change. So please do that and sign on towards us if you'd like to have your initiative project featured in the upcoming days, and come up here and do it right here.
Yeah, it's actually the next people to transit energy that we have here to be connect from policymakers to the museums to the society. Yeah, absolutely. Then you might have seen people running around with these red lanyards. That's for Toys for Rights. The letter of the Paris Promise of 70 years.
Universal Declaration.
That's it. Universal Human Rights Declaration. And I have some of these lanyards here. If you want some, feel free to grab some. That's like an initiative from the Human Rights Working Group, and yeah, if you want one. The first thing we have today happening, maybe Victor can elaborate on that and show the slide, and then from the.
By the way, curiosity, talking about human rights, who of you have heard of the Great Eight when it comes to the Paris Rule? The Great Eight and the eight values, human rights values that the Paris Rule book should entail. One person? Also? Okay. At the last sessions in Bonn, this gained a lot of attention, but I feel like during this COP, it has been somehow lost in the UNFCCC orbit, and some of the values of the Great Eight is it human rights, gender, participation, ecosystem biodiversity. What else do we have there? Help me out.
Humanitarian aid is also listed.
Humanitarian aid, yes. And
human rights, public participation, indigenous
people's involvement.
just transition, gender, food security, ecosystem integrity, and protection of.
Okay. Slowly, we all want to hear, either make a slide or tell us.
Okay, so the 8 fundamental elements are human rights, public participation, indigenous peoples' rights, just transition, gender, food security, ecosystem integrity and protection of biodiversity, and intergenerational equity.
Good to address them and bring them back to the conversation during the coming days as the Paris rulebook will materialize, hopefully. And yes, also giving a visibility to a side event today, and which also relates to education and outreach efforts. There's going to be a side event called Multisectoral Approaches and Initiatives for Climate Resilience, Population, and Sustainable Livelihoods in Africa. And it's going to be a countryside event with Chad, Uganda, and Madagascar. And the aim of this session is really to connect environment, livelihoods, health, and population to take control of change. And from Madagascar, Uganda, and Chad, projects will feature conservation efforts, energy access, early warning systems, women's education, as well as family planning. So perhaps it's something that your organization is interested in if you research or if you are active in the African region. Come by there. The flyers entails all the information, and perhaps we can connect you with educators and active organizations from that region.
For tomorrow, we could perhaps have a discussion about how an ECOS homepage could look like, what in terms of reference.
Do you have any further?
Tomorrow?
Or what are your plans for tomorrow?
Tomorrow we'll be outside the venue. I have a health event with my employer.
So, okay. So shall we cancel it tomorrow then?
Just because of my absence?
You are the focal point.
Okay.
Or shall we have it flexible?
We can
As you saying, this
Okay.
conceptual
Jonas, yeah, fine. And let's say Dana and Jonas will, and I will also prepare a slide where we will talk about how our homepage could look like and ask whether there are any volunteers to work with us on the homepage.
also send it out, mailing list, sign the interest if they want to have input. Keep it running, otherwise people getting confused, like, okay, this day, it doesn't happen the other day.
Better to have it.
And so we're really looking on how different systems, different sectors can merge together, and how this can be an advantage to multi-sectoral development projects instead of focusing on one sector.
Mark asked to mention the IPCC event also.
So yeah, it
is on the 12th at 11:30.
Yeah, he has an announcement.
Yep. An education event on the 12th of December. There's going to be an IPCC featured event on education, and one of our ECOS focal points will talk there and represent ECOS efforts as well as your efforts as ECOS members. So please pay attention to this side event taking place on the 12th,
11:30.
11:30 on the 12th IPCC education event, and be present there. And if you would like to refer back to ECOS or being a member of ECOS, also feel free to do that during the discussion sessions, during the Q&As of this IPCC event. what I'm trying to say, use and try to take advantage if it's an advantage for you of being a member of ECOS.
Perhaps you announce for tomorrow. Okay.
Hello everyone, I'm Nick from Quebec. I just wanted to raise some point, so just like see people from different countries are here with respect to community. I just wanted to say that, for example, I go to different meetings, I do different scientific, different negotiations. They always try to say, be a part of us. But when I go back to the country, which most of the applications are not going in my country, I cannot go there. I really cannot. There's some point, even with swimming things.
Rotary
International. For your programs, like Rotary Club, right? Okay. It's been 3 years, I'm trying to be a part of it. I guess you always have these scholarships too. Scholarships.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong.
Various scholarship programs.
Okay. It's been 3 years, I'm trying to apply for these scholarships, for example, to study peace building. I cannot really access. I tried to do the application, it turns out that says, we don't have any clubs in the country. And for all of you, whatever it says, be a part of us, we all want to be a part of everybody and everything, but in my country, nothing works. I don't have access to any applications.
So there's no Rotary Club in that.
No.
That is sad.
We have to work on it.
And even like for the communities, for example, I mean, try to make your application really accessible to other countries. For example, one of even the application for music Spotify does not work in my country.
So Google mailing lists don't work in your country.
Most of the stuff doesn't work.
What doesn't?
What works?
Email can work, but most of the applications cannot work. It's only even music application like Spotify, we don't have access to my country. So we're so limited.
So we will come and make a protest on your streets.
Right. Regarding next meeting, tomorrow we're going to convene again at 10 a.m. here. And tomorrow's topic will be on developing the ECOS homepage. And please, if you have inputs on that, if you have ideas,
will you be here?
Some structures that have worked for you regarding homepage and outreach, please let us know what that is on the mailing list. And we welcome your best practices in regards of homepage development. So please also sign up if you have interest to present your initiatives tomorrow along with the homepage development.
And as we're talking about homepage development, I see a lot of research in your research organizations present here. And you might have heard that they are how to discuss whether to have, how to have an NDC registry. Basically, it's just a damn registry. And it takes so much time for them to put the registry onto the web. It's like discussing about for 2 years in a row now how to do it. That's why we came up with the NDC registry initiative, and we made our own NDC registry where we have full text search, and you see really every document that normally wouldn't be available in English. You can even read it in English. So everything is translated, everything, and it's under ndcregistry.uno. And I invite you to check this homepage out. And there's also a way to give feedback there. And so if you have any, that would be interesting for you as well to check it out. Thanks a lot.
Do you ever screen work with NDCs? Have you faced this problem before? With NDCs? the UNFCCC has an NDC registry with all these submitted NDCs, and they all submitted in a PDF format where you cannot highlight the text, cannot copy the text, and cannot search in the text.
So much for
You can take
transparency.
it out.
That's the thing. If you're looking for your topic in the NDCs, it's really hard to find it. And this initiative that Jonas announced of all the NDCs, which are searchable, and on a database, you can search for keywords in all the NDCs. It's perhaps something that can be relevant for your work.
See you tomorrow or next week.
Thank you very much for attending.